As you've already heard, that U.S. has fired missiles to Syria. Um, I'm really not going to focus on that because that's pretty much easy to know what's happening. What I'm going to talk about is why and the narratives that mainstream media was pushing. Um, a question as to why Syria would use sarin gas now, and is this the start of World War III? Um, this is something that you're going to have to investigate yourself. You can watch mainstream media, you can watch independent media, but pretty much in the end, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. Now, a long time ago, Amy Goodman, she interviewed General Wesley Clark, and General Wesley Clark mentioned a couple of countries from a memo that he wasn't supposed to look at because it was classified. I did this video, talked about this video in a previous video of mine, and you can go and watch that. So, let's go ahead and switch to why. Okay, so in his interview, he discussed that the memo talked about taking out 7 countries in 5 years. Of course, Iraq, everyone knows about that. And then there's Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off with Iran. Now, if you look and see, the red ones are where we intervened militarily. Syria is now one that we are intervening with. Lebanon, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran, we've pretty much dealt with them diplomatically. So whatever the United States government wanted from those countries, they got it. So we haven't really attacked them, as far as my research has been through. But now we've got Syria on this list. It's pretty much the last list, and their ally is of course Russia. So now you're wondering, okay, wait. So if you're always regularly viewing mainstream media and that's your arbiter of truth, these millionaires and billionaire buildings, they're telling you news and you're believing it. Well, okay, ask yourself this: if you believed the narrative that there was Trump and Russian collusion, so why is Trump firing missiles at their ally? Why would Trump? I mean, okay, maybe don't even think about it. What does mainstream media say? Do they say, well, this could be some crazy scheme by Putin to have Trump take out their ally Assad because whatever their reasoning and their logic is? Okay, let's skip that. Do your own thinking. It's going to be, I mean, if you're still watching mainstream media, I'm sorry, but you're thinking it's going to be a little bit skewed. Sorry, it's true. Alright. Now, so okay, in my world, in a lot of people's world, you know, that narrative is no longer valid. There could be, I mean, you'd really have to stretch about it, and their mainstream media really tried. They tried to push that objective, but it didn't work. So now they moved to something else, and this is the sarin gas issue. So now let's talk about the sarin gas issue. You can look at this video, and you can also look at read this article. Of course, I always put all links to all my sources in the description box. I think what I mostly want, and they have some valid points. I may not agree with all of them, but they're pretty good. So number 3, why use sarin gas now? In most accounts, Syria's army was already winning. So what was the purpose? What's the story? What's the narrative? Why was sarin gas used. Um, and there's a lot of other stories, other reports that have been told about, you know, people being taken by Al Qaeda, and they're saying that those bodies were used for the sarin gas. Okay, strategically, let's talk about Syria's army. Okay, if they're winning the war, what strategic value would there be to use sarin gas on the enemy? You could say, well, it puts the nail on the coffin. That could be one reasoning. Wouldn't win the war. Maybe it's just to put in a message. But you're talking about terrorists. They know that they're gonna rebels. They're gonna just fight to the death. They're not gonna be afraid of sarin gas. Two, maybe you wanted the United States to attack you, to get Russia involved into protecting them, get them involved so they don't need to worry about whether the United States is gonna do something, I don't know, covertly. Okay, I'm just trying to think of strategic, things to assist why Syria would use sarin gas. Now let's look at the opposite. Syria's opposition. Well, there's the U.S. and the Middle East allies and Al Qaeda, ISIS. They're losing, so they need to up the game. How do you do that? Well, you can do a false flag, and that's what everything's pointing to. That's what independent media is talking about. All the journalists on the ground, that's how they're formulating the reports. And then you've got the mainstream media. They don't have that. They have what they're seeing, and then they're talking about it, forming their own narrative. And it's bad, so we have to attack them. They don't even think about the whole what's going to happen relations between U.S. and Russia. I don't think they care. This is money. It's cha-ching. War is the greatest money maker of all time. Sad, but it's true. So, okay, the false flag versus the use to, I don't know, maybe 2 false flags, whatever. Whatever that you can think of, investigate it, make up your own opinion on it. I'm not caring about it. 4, everyone's worried about World War III against USA versus Russia. That's not going to happen. There's too much at stake. No one wins. They know that. But it's flexing of their muscles. Okay, U.S. bombs a Russian ally. What's Russia going to do? They're not going to attack the U.S. They're going to attack a U.S. ally. And so what are the Russian allies? You can see, it's India, China, Belarus, Iran, and Syria. Oh, look at that. Iran. Remember that list? Iran's right there. And Syria. So, U.S. and Iran relations still are on a little bit edge, but Russia didn't really back them up as much as they backed up Syria. So think about why. And if you watch independent media, you'll get told why. They won't tell you that in mainstream media. Now let's go back. And U.S. allies, we've got a lot of allies. There's just a whole lot. So how can Russia retaliate? Are they going to attack the United States? No, they're not. Are they going to attack probably one of the United States' allies? Yes. and for what purpose. Um, it would probably be a military stance to gain something or to take away from the United States, where the US has to back away. Um, Pretty much that's all it's going to be right now. I wouldn't worry about World War III. Putin isn't going to do anything. Trump isn't going to do anything. And that's it. I really wouldn't worry about World War III. I would worry if you are an ally of either Russia or US, because you are going to be getting the brunt of this escalation. Um, Russia isn't going to back down on Syria, and US is going to back down from getting what it wants. It started. The attack started. No going back. So what's the retaliation? It's going to be war on the U.S. allies. Which ally? So that's what we're going to see next. If that does happen, then maybe I'll continue on and talk about more strategy. If I'm wrong, then heck, I'll talk about other stuff. All right.